What's good? What's good? What's good in the hood? Welcome back to another episode of the Good in the Hood podcast. I am, as always, your host, Juice. Joined this week with a special guest, man, Chicago's own, the third, man. What's going on, bro? How you feeling, man?
What's happening? Living well. Yeah, I've been somewhere everywhere as of late, so I'm good. I'm good here sitting down, talking to you, fan of the series. We here.
I appreciate you, man. Like I said, Chicago's own. Say you're a poet, rapper, you're an activist, and say you a philanthropist in many ways, man. So much to tackle with you, man. But I think we should start off with what's the latest thing that's been on the horizon for you, and that's the Director's Cut EP, narrated by Mike Lee, starring, I'm saying, yourself, I'm saying, the third. Real quick fire track joint. The one that stuck out to me the most, honestly, was Beat Water. What when you got into that mode for that five piece, I'm sure it's something coming after this for sure. But what was the mindset when you went to dropping, especially in the midst of a pandemic?
Man, first of all, this whole pandemic thing has been absolutely wild. I for the first like 3.5 months of the pandemic didn't write a single thing. I mean, this whole experience has been like a not like a very like stimulating like for creativity at all. But that first 3.5 months was like, especially for somebody who's been writing since they were like 11 or 12 and like pretty much writing something every day. You know what I'm saying? Like every day I was writing something. And that 3.5 months was torture for me. Wasn't encouraged for anything, and it was like super difficult. Be Water was one of the first songs I believe that I wrote during the pandemic. One of my first pandemic records. It's crazy to call it that, but like, and that first joint was like really just about like, actually I was doing a small little exercise for myself and really just interacting with people, trying to get interaction virtually. I would hop on IG Live, and this is back when IG Live only had an hour for you, and I would I would accept like instrumentals and different stuff like that. I would see like if how I can get a song out in an hour. And so like I would sit on IG Live, I would play the beat for people, then I would just loop the beat and I would write. People would recommend like different topics and stuff like that. One of the first topics that came to my head really was about being able to move through, persevere. I think that like the trait of like perseverance is like probably one of a lot of times like overrules like a lot of other, you know what I'm saying? You can be like all right at something, you don't have to be like the best at it, but if you persevering, you know what I'm saying, like that's sometimes that's better than being like the best at it, is the fact that you keep at it, you know what I mean?
So, that's real.
Yeah, so like one of the first lines was I won't lie, I'm moving through, you know what I mean? Moving through for me is basically like being able to push through like hardship and a lot of different obstacles that are in the way. And so being able to be like, oh shoot, like this is working for me, I'm moving through. And I'm like, all right, I've been listening to a lot of I've been listening to Smino for quite a bit, but I started really studying a lot of like actually like technically studying Smino as a rapper, and also as a rapper. I really enjoy like the technicalities of the work. You know what I mean? Like you hear the final product and how it is, being able to like break down the situation, like how they do what they do and like why they do it and like how it contributes to the music is like a whole thing for me. So especially being in album mode, like I was like super into like study. Like that's been my whole thing. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like listening. I'm just like, yo, this man is so like I really enjoy like the sounds. Huge fan of like Monty Booker and like all the people that contribute to that whole like that whole like sound. And so I was like, yo, I wanna get into this. And so I sat there on IG Live and like wrote the song out. Had got recommendations for like the lines for the hook and everything, and it was kind of like writing it out. And I was like, yo, I won't lie, I'm moving through. You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot, but I'm moving through.
Going through it.
yeah, flowing through it, you know what I'm saying? And the whole thing, definitely the song was heavily also inspired by Bruce Lee, about like being water and being able to, you know what I'm saying? You think about water, it don't really have no, like, it travels. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You like put it in one place, but it's gonna travel and find other ways to get through.
forever
And
moving.
no
Yeah,
matter what, exactly, no matter what's in front of it, it's gonna find a way to either see through it or go around it. So yeah. That's kind of how I've been looking at life as of late, especially through all this madness.
man. Man, that's super powerful. So I guess I picked the right song to start off with the Be Water because that definitely shows some layers there. And just kind of going back to what you kind of started with that word perseverance. I think that's super important in life, but especially for artists. I feel like artists, especially in any world where you're pretty much judged a lot on your work, like publicly. Like as an artist, as a musician, poet, um, how do you feel about like industry that's highly criticized? Like all your work, no matter how much you love what you put out, there's gonna be a critic out there to say if it's good or bad.
Hey yo, and that's the thing is that like I knew that like I had an idea about it going into music, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But never like I didn't have a real idea how for real it was. Like
Yeah,
I
man.
personally feel like I make, you know what I'm saying, like whatever good music is, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely true to me and true to my experiences.
100%.
But I've gotten like an array of different types of like feedback from people, a lot of people I don't even know, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, but just
man.
like people who are like, you know what I mean, like this is cool, but you should have did this, isn't it? You know, everybody's gonna have something to say. I realize that, right?
Yeah,
And as much as I would, you know, like as artists, we have a sometimes like a creeping like obligation to please everyone and to like be liked by everybody. And honestly, bro, if I like changed the way I do music and the way I speak, what's true to me based on every single message request I get in my IG DMs, I'm never, you know what I'm saying? I'm not now. I'm no longer writing what's true to me. I'm like changing it up based on what these people I have no idea who they are. A lot of them probably don't even be doing music.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I gotta stay true to me, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that being able to just kind of be consistent has been like one of the most important things. And just keeping in mind the fact that like, no, this is not everybody's steez, you know what I mean? Especially I think growing up in the era that I do, or that I did, it's like people are so into I grew up in a different type. I grew up listening to the different type of music than the era I grew up in, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like I
yeah,
was raised on a lot of like Common and Kanye, a lot of Most Def. Lecrae was a huge influence in my like career, you know, in my writing as far as like being a Christian and also like a artist, right?
yeah.
And
You was
so
spitting too. You was spitting that gospel shit.
oh man, bless.
The crazy was going crazy.
No, yeah. So and then like also and but then growing up and like doing music in this era of like quick, catchy, sound good is like great. Like I'm a fan of a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? But it is not. I'm very aware it's not exactly what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I like am aware that like, hey, this is not something that everybody's into right now, but the people who are into it are going to be like 110% invested, and I'm really proud of that, and really proud of people who have showed up. I'm looking forward to the people who are welcomed into the community. You feel me?
And man, you really connected with you when you mentioned the artists you kind of grew up listening to, as far as especially the most Defs, the Commons, the Kanyes, like that, that quote unquote backpack era, I'm saying that conscious rap, what they used to call it. I'm saying, and I'm always interested by that because when I look at music today, like music is today has it's changed in so many ways because like it was an era where it was mumble rap, and then after mumble rap it kind of that kind of a cadence kind of transitioned over to all hip hop. Like we got J. Cole doing that shit now. I'm saying that those cadences you hear the Sabbaths, you mentioned Smino. These it's not just bars anymore. The cadences, the flows, the melodies that rappers are creating now, it's the genre is now something completely different. It's much bigger than it's bigger than hip hop. You know what I'm saying on some dead prayer shit. So like for you as a poet, someone who came from being a poet from 11 years old and writing with that kind of mindset, how was it? How has it been for you trying to not transition but kind of blend those worlds together?
Oh man. I definitely started off writing poetry. My pops was a poet.
Mm,
Being raised around a lot of him and his homies. Um, you know what I'm saying? I just grew up around a lot of raw poets.
man, so
And just being able to like write like that and to me it's kind of the same thing. Honestly, I feel like what I'm doing now is just the same thing I've been doing, just over a beat. And so being able to like kind of change the way I think about what I'm saying, how I write it. I think if anything though, poetry, when I was writing poetry, I had a lot more, and speaking on technicalities, had a lot more like freedom with like how much I was able to write. You know what I mean? So like I could say all of what I wanted to say and take however long I wanted to take saying it. You feel me? And also messing with different forms of poetry and everything. And then like when I got into like rapping and making, what I'm saying, and like rapping over beats, it was like, dang, that don't all work in these 4 bars. You know what I'm saying? So now like it really even helped me get up with like my word choice and like how much, if I can say the same thing in a few amount of words, I think the art becomes even more powerful that way. As far as like what I have to say and how I'm saying it. Um, but the transition was definitely a thing. There I grew up being told that like rap and poetry were two different things. And that like poetry is supposed to be like this like deep, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
super metaphysical, like topics. I'm like, yo, actually I've heard a lot of really trash poems and I've heard a lot of really good poems. You know what I mean? I've heard like poems about something and I've heard also poems about not much of anything.
yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And then like being told that like rap is supposed to be like this real like shallow, like feel good, sound good type of thing. I'm like, yo, these are not, you know what I mean? These are not, this is not exactly the way it has to go, right?
Yeah,
This is not a real thing. And so being able to take that and being like, hey, um, I'm gonna rap over this beat, but I'm gonna make it just as potent and take just as much time as I would if it was a regular poem, and you're gonna listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah,
being able to like fuse those different ideas. Um, and I have a lot of song, like a lot of poetry really helped me as far as like vocabulary. Also, like my vocabulary. And word choice, a lot of that in my music is inspired by my poetry and the poetry that I read and the poetry that was read around me. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think starting off writing poetry and reading helped me be like a better rapper in general.
mm,
So
yeah.
yeah, for sure. For
And
sure.
and not to be one of those, not that's one of those critics, but like I gotta get my opinion. I've also just from like watching you, I've seen how like you mentioned earlier, IG Live. I caught you making the beats on IG Live, caught you freestyling over some beats on IG Live, and I think also for you, like man, your ear is like is there. Like, you have this ear for sound that's truly, you know what I'm saying, just truly impressive. Impressive
I
is a
appreciate
great word for it. Like the production you've been able to make, production I've heard you make the even freestyles. I saw you doing freestyles in the car. I'm like, all right, bro has that, and it's a mind thing. It's part of your mental. So talk to me about like production. Like I also feel like production is a real reason why music landscape has kind of changed. So how does production affect with your sound?
Hey yo, actually that's been a huge conversation over like the social media as late as like the whole thing about production and like giving credit where it's due and like how a lot of production kind of like carries a lot of songs. You know what I mean?
A lot, man.
So I like a couple weeks ago I made a year sitting right here. I bought
Yeah.
this MPC Touch. Her name is Eartha, as in like Eartha Kitt,
Shout out
like
to Catwoman.
you know what I'm saying, drum kits and all that. So Eartha,
That's fire.
I got her like a couple weeks ago, made a year that I've been making beats. And hopping on IG Live, I think was kind of like an unintentional but intentional way of me kind of like being able to document the growth I wanted to see. Never saw myself making beats. About uh not even a whole month or two, maybe 2 months into quarantine, I would realize how much sitting I was doing, way more than usual. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yo, I need to. If I don't come out of this better than I was when I got into it, I'm I could see myself being a trash human being.
Yeah,
So
that's real talk. That's real
I was
talk.
like, yo, like I want to grow, and I want to explore new things. Also just saw like a lot of like like producers, like have a lot of co homies that like make amazing like beats. So I like went on eBay, copped this for what to me was in crazy amount because I don't write because I'm not invested in
Right,
making like as a
right.
producer. But I was like, yo, I think if I got this, it's like wanting to learn how to swim and like people like dip their toe in type situation
Yeah,
versus
jump
like
in.
running, just jumping into the
Yeah,
middle of it. So that was kind of my way of doing it. Was it a great idea? Not sure, but I think buying it and like seeing that, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
making that sudden investment and having it here really kind of, I was like, yo, I gotta use this. Like at least every, you know what I'm saying, as many times as the dollar that I spent using it. You know what I mean? That's how I think about things. So like,
hey, that's how you got to do it, man. Get your dollars worth.
right. So like being able, I'm like on it like every day, just like working out, hop on IG Live, like either building something or editing something I already started on. And then like being able to go back and like look at how much like better I've got in the past year. Um, really helped me kind of think. Also, yo, like I just was watching, like especially when I got this, my whole ear for music kind of changed in a sense or enhanced in a way that like I was
Yeah,
listening to the production more. I was like I was like online watching like interviews from like some of my favorite producers. I had more favorite producers. That was a thing. Um, I got homies who like post like beats they're working on like on Twitter and IG and stuff like that. Who
yeah,
are amazing. Uh, man, my boy Jacob, Young Savoy, Gold Haze, um, a lot of producers that like I follow and pay attention to who are just
yeah.
like so cool. I was like, yo, I want to do this. You know what I mean? Like this is fire. You know what I mean? So I achieving just to do more with it and being able to grow in it. I just got comfortable like wanting to like keep and like take these outside of my room, right? So
Okay.
I've like been able to sell a few. I got like a solid placement. I don't want to speak on yet, but
Hey,
we gonna talk about it real
hey,
soon.
blessings,
That was
blessings.
yeah, it was great being able to see that happen and like definitely couldn't have seen that happen a year ago. And
You
also
have. So go ahead.
yeah, definitely contribute to like how I even like how I even like make music. And like even my writing has changed based on like what I've been able to pay attention to creating the beat from scratch. So yeah. It's been a huge blessing. Glad I'm able to add it to my arsenal.
For sure, it's a strong piece of ammo to have, man. Do you plan on? Do you have anything planned as far as you rapping on your beat set? Do you have anything lined up?
I, what's today? The 20th. I could say this. So
Yeah. Is the placement you?
I'm gonna no. So I'm gonna release a I'm gonna release a tape. It's gonna be a very small
Yeah,
tape. I have like beats that I've worked that I've like. So like whenever it's what I'm doing now is I'll create like a 16 of like 16 bars of a beat idea, and then like if somebody like somebody maybe like, hey, you got beats, I like this what I heard like on the live or something like that, I'll work on it more, build it out, and then I'll send it to them, right?
yeah,
um so what I'm doing is I have like these like minute long beat ideas that I'm going to make turn into songs, and it'll be like a small tape of just minute long songs from beats that I produce.
That's
So
fire. That's
I'm working.
fire.
Yeah, I'm working on that currently now. I'm super excited for it. Um, when it's gonna happen, I'm like, as far as like dropping, I'm not sure, just because I'm still like in album mode and
Right.
working out that process out. But that is something that will be happening real soon.
Now you said this phrase, these two words, a couple times now. So I definitely got to dig into what that means for you. Album mode. So talk to me about album mode. Talk to me about like the mindset you got to put yourself into to as far as building an album.
Yo, so also forgive my smoke detector. I definitely need to
Oh, you
replace it.
good? You good? I ain't
But
even hear it. I ain't even hear it. You good? Yeah.
no, yeah. So man, album mode. I feel like I've said that word so much, it's become one word for me. Album mode third is a different, a never before seen, and not even for the theatrics, but like in a serious, very serious
Right.
manner, like never before seen version of
Locked
myself.
in. Locked
So
in.
locked in. I mean, a whole different type of focus, a whole different type of motivation. A lot of that motivation was rooted in seeing how much feedback and like fruit I was able to get based on what I've been like sowing, you know what I mean? And like the people who are like giving me, showing me the love based on like what I've been able to put out as is, has been great. Um and like then also just being able to like working on an album for the first time requires so much more attention and focus than I've ever had to put into, I think, anything else ever. And so being able to be like, this is a goal I have. These are the big things I need to do in order to accomplish it. And then there are like a bunch of smaller things in between that I need to do in order to make sure that it comes into its full fruition. Has
Right.
required a lot of focus and like sit down power that I've never had before. Being able to really just like also think of things like think about the way I create in a whole new different way. Uh and then also being able to like and like the skill, like the skill and like the tenacity that I've had for this music thing has went up exponentially in the last like month or so. Or no, a few months really. And it's like I've been working on this album for 2 years and 7 months.
Man.
2 years and 7 months I've been working on this album. um, didn't say a thing about it for a year. Um, then shoot, around like this is back when when I thought I was gonna drop last March. That's the
Yeah.
thing
Before the pandemic.
I've never said
Yeah.
before. Yeah, I thought I was gonna drop last March, and it did not. It was like it went horribly. Like, and so like the whole like pandemic situation happened. All
Yeah.
the studios closed down. Like all of my
Yeah,
like
man.
all the progress stopped. Which
Sheesh.
in retro, yeah, I'm thankful for, because I've been able to step back and rethink the whole thing. And so many things that would not have been involved if I hadn't, if like, you know what I'm saying, if the world had like literally was
Stop.
at a standstill, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to think about, because I'm so like on I'm go mode all the time. Like if I'm
Yeah.
not here, I'm like I'm over there. If I'm not over there, I'm back here. You know what I mean? And so I'm usually big picture stuff. Um, really thankful for the PR team and the people who've been helping me. Some of my mentors really kind of helped me like focus on the details, and really like the investment really. All of that has really just contributed to like a whole different type of like focus, different type of attention to detail. Uh, the writing has been absolutely crazy. Y'all gonna are gonna peep that really soon. In this last like
Pen game crazy. Love to
oh
hear that.
yo you know what? Here's the other thing. So I'm gonna say this because a lot I feel like writers watch this and the fact I very much enjoy watching this and getting to see like where
For sure.
artists are at. Um, but sometimes we spend so much time in head like face into our work that we don't see one, either how far we've come or
Mhm.
how far we have left to go, right? And so like we so like working at just gotta get this done, trying to work on this. And like you by the time you finish with it, you didn't seen the ground up work, you didn't seen like all the mistakes. It's just like sometimes it could be just a
Yeah.
product. Like you're not even really like yo, this
Yeah.
is just something I just finished. And other people are like, yo, like this is good. Like this is like, you know what I'm saying? And you can
Yeah.
like, yeah, like this is it. And
It's,
you
it's pretty much the difference between like the group of songs and the album.
yes, and then at that point you're not even really like impressed with it at that point. You didn't spend so much time like sweating over it. You know what I mean?
Man.
And so on the times where I can create something and then truly be impressed with it as if it's my first time seeing it, golden like moments. It's been happening a lot more in the last few months. And I actually just finished a piece. Is my next piece that's dropping is I was thoroughly impressed over. Humbly
Yeah.
speaking, it was like great just to see like this is not just like another song. This is like a culmination of a bunch of work and like different
Yeah.
moments that contributed to all of it. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Album mode third is a sight to see for sure.
The reason why those words album mode really stuck out to me is because I know in today's hip hop, today's music, people kind of like try to stay away from that word album. It seems like nowadays they want to use project, they want to use this as a mixtape. They don't want to say is there like especially with the debut album. What's the biggest difference? Not difference as far as what we will get, but like as far as the mentality you're in between album mode and either director's cut or cursive. Like what is like what? Cause like if I'm doing my math in my head correctly, you said 2 years and 7 months. That means this album party predates a little bit of cursive.
Yeah, yeah. So Cursive was my first project that did make 2 years on the 7th, actually, May
Oh
7th.
shit, go crazy.
And yeah, yeah. So and that was a project that I was just looking forward to making. I use the term project as to say when I don't know what to call it,
Yeah,
I'll call it a project, right? It's just a list of songs. Like, and then if you tell me like, oh, it's like, 8 to 12 songs, I'm like, okay, album, right? And you say,
right,
it's
okay.
like 2 to 6, and it's like EP. You know what I mean? But project's like my general term for it. But it's like
It's funny
cursive.
you said it like that because you said I think you said 2 to 6 is the EP, 8 to 12 is an album, and cursive is 7. So it's like
Cursive
that's
is 7.
definitely the project, bro. That's fire.
I call it an EP, and
Okay.
some platforms is put under the album section on my
Oh
page.
word.
So
Yeah,
it's like I
yeah.
what I mean. I call it EP, and I'm gonna stick by it.
Agree. No, for
But
sure. I agree with you. I feel like once the artist hits like once that the 10 track range, that's when I feel like this is an album. It's
for
you
sure,
give me an album now.
yeah. Also, I guess for me, albums are very much more like themed, I would say.
Mm.
They definitely have like like a running tie-in throughout
Mm.
the whole project, right? Cursive the EP definitely had some like uh definitely had some all the songs had like shared different types of share like some similar themes and like similar sentiments, but not near as like focused and as like I think like not even near as like focused
Mm.
as far as like the theme as like my album is going to be. And so cursive was great. I made a lot of mistakes with that EP. There are a lot of like good things also that came out of that EP, and I'm grateful for it, regardless of however it does ever. But yeah, when I was finishing cursive, is when I started the album immediately. I wanted cursive to be an album.
Mm.
I was like, yo, my first project, it's gonna be an album. And then like doing like more study and just realizing how heavy that is, especially as a first project, I was
Yeah,
like, let me
man.
do. I had some mentors that was like, take a seat, you feel me, relax, rethink it. and it turned into an EP, and I'm super grateful for it. Because it even them 7 songs really just gave me an idea of like how this process goes.
Mm.
Um, and so yeah. I definitely like the album mode is like a whole new type of like theme and attention to detail. And yeah, cursive like did exactly what I wanted to do. Um, there are some songs.
Got your name bubbling for sure.
Yeah, I think that like people were people were very, and I like try not to like dive too deep into like how people receive my music, but when I pay attention to it, when I peep it, I do want to acknowledge it and keep it like in my own head.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like people were very like
Receptive.
like people, yeah, people were aware that I could rap, but not so much if I could make music. And that was something that I even learned about myself. Like I always love, like I can give you 1,000 verses on end. I
Right.
can write
Yeah.
forever, but like creating a song was a challenge for me. So being able to like put that together, ooh, uh, cursive, the song on the EP was the first hook I ever made, ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wrote that when
Okay.
I was like, yeah, like 17.
Man.
So that
So that
was a
makes you what? Which is what? 20 now? You 20 now?
we on camera? Sure, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cut that out, but my
No,
fault.
you're good. You're good. No, we having fun, but I'm yeah. So like
I
it's
didn't realize you was that young. That's crazy. You are, yes, that's man. You get to it, bro. Real talk.
I
That's fire.
appreciate it, bro. And like I'm in that mode now where I can say like, hey, this was me 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and now like here's my growth now. Like here's
Yeah.
everything I've learned from it. So happy for those mistakes, like so happy. And now being in this album mode, it's like, okay, you realize that you never did a single piece of rollout for cursive, right?
Yeah.
Ever. You know what I mean? Like all the different things and being like, okay, this is what you can do for it next time. And like this is how you can kind of like supplement, complement what you are good at, and like also kind of like feed into what you need help with. So yeah, that's fantastic. I feel like I kind of got lost in your question,
Oh,
but
you good. You good. You cooking. You never want to stop. You get a lot of good things out. And one thing I kind of want to mention off of what you were saying was like, I look back at like going back to the '90s, right? And I often hear how like people give like the new generation has so many more tools, this, that, and the third. But I feel like it's also so much more pressure because now when you got to drop music for the first time, it's going to all DSPs. Like, like no matter the first thing you ever drop is going to be on all DSPs more likely, or SoundCloud or something where a
yeah,
large amount of people can get to it. Back in the '90s, if you want to become a rapper, like you would just passing CDs out to people. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like now people are going to hear your music, at least if you push it correctly. A lot of people are going to hear your music you never met before. You never even seen these people. They're going to hear your music. I mean, that's much different than what it was when we first, like now dropping Live at the Barbecue before Illmatic. People probably never heard that song to this day. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody even probably on DSPs. But Illmatic is what you think of as Nas' first project. People are gonna look back, and even though your first album is yet to come out, they're gonna hear cursive. Like cursive is right there. It shows. I'm saying it's that's a big piece of pressure to put on anybody, knowing that their first project is always gonna be there next to their old next. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Next, I guess
yeah,
that's real. That's real. It's dope that you have that because I hear you talking. I'm like, man, he's definitely on you on yourself. You putting yourself to the fire, which with everything I can tell by the way you said you went back to last March prepared to drop an album and you pretty much I don't think you said you scrapped it, but you pretty much knew you had to tweak a lot and fix a
yeah.
lot. What get you that mental what get you to that mentality or that passion about your art or about your craft to the point where you won't mind going back to the chalkboard, erasing it all and starting over or just knowing you got to tweak things here and there? What get you that mentality?
Yo, I'm so excited for this question. So here's the thing. I in March, right? I was ready to drop the album. I was trying to do like a whole like I'm gonna drop it on the third day of the third month. Like it's gonna be a whole thing. Like I'm gonna let it go. And I had these songs set up, and I realized like this all was like set up good, but there were so many other things going on that I didn't have the time to think about, right? So I had a lot of my mentors who were able to be like, hey, like this it sounds good, but you are missing this, right? I had like a lot of help. Shout out to Nichelle and the John Wall Foundation, Saab, who really like
Always.
help put together, like help kind of like push this part of my creative process is like the process, right? And kind of like enduring, and not just enduring as to say like it's like boring or just like not, but it takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us like want to have fun making music and can have fun making music, but can't get too caught up in just like, especially when you're trying to make something that lasts. I feel like I'm trying to make something that
Yeah,
lasts
man.
forever. I'm trying to like, influence people and influence their lives and like, influence the way that they think about things. And I'm trying to like tell stories. I'm like a lot of people who I'm like rapping for that. I'm like, yo, I can't just be throwing out products. You know what I mean? Like these, if I'm dropping it, it's been through a lot of process. It's been through a lot of care. It's been touched up again. I was so hungry to drop this album that like I've been made aware I skipped so many different things, so many different parts. I was just like, all right, let me go ahead and rework this. Also, I grew up in Chicago. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I am consistently surrounded by so many raw rap. I was just on Twitter
Oh
like
yeah.
the other
Yeah,
day,
oh
like
yeah.
just thanking God, bro. Like I'm surrounded by so many cold artists that just won't let me be good. Like they won't let me be mediocre. They won't allow it. And it's not even like all of them are like, hey, third, be better. It's not,
Word.
what I'm saying? It's a few of them that's doing that, but a lot of them are just rapping. Like a lot of
Word.
them are just doing their art, and I'm
Yeah.
like listening, or they'll send it to me. I'm just like, I was
Yeah,
gonna
man.
chill.
Chicago is amazing right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm like, I was gonna chill and just be good, but now I have to be better than good because also I'm very like I love my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm super cooperative and in like collaborative spaces, but I'm also low key very competitive. And my
Hey,
like family members like super competitive. Like so I hear that, they're like, hey, I just dropped some, like, take a listen. I'm like, oh, cool, appreciate it. Yeah, bro, love, all that. And I'm listening, I'm just like, mm, yeah, I need to hop in
all
a new
right.
bag.
So I got actual hip hop nerd question. I have to ask you a real quick hip hop nerd question. So in Chicago has a lot of lyricists out right now. What's the last Chicago song you heard that said, you know what? I wish I was on this beat and I wish I could go toe to toe with this person right here. I'm saying 16 for 16 on this track.
Hey, oh man. Oh man. The last Chicago verse I heard that I want to be on,
Your last track, yes sir.
last track. Oh, dang.
Or just give me one that comes to mind when you think of that of a certain Chicago track. It's like, man, I wish I was on that joint.
Um, ooh, Vic Vic Mensa dropped a couple things. First of all,
Super
uh,
underrated.
yes, the first song on Vendetta
Mm.
is the not the last project, but the one before that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a song. Dang, I gotta find it now on this new project that I take called. Oh my god, I gotta find it now. But I think it's like the first or second song on there. He has a song that was produced by Just Blaze, and I absolutely like love Just Blaze's work. Like everything he does is an automatic like banger to me. So being
Was it
able to
that
like,
freedom? Was it that freedom joint? Freedom.
I think it was. Let me see. I think it was. It was
I,
Victory. I think it was
okay,
Victory.
victory. I guess freedom because freedom had the threes in it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was
Actually,
like,
I copped the shirt not too long ago. I
oh,
got that
word.
shirt with me. Yeah.
So,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, so
man. So,
it probably was the Victory joint for
that's
sure. By
fine.
this Blaze, yeah.
That's fine. So let's get into the name, the third. Like, when did that name come from for you?
Um, so
And what does it mean?
uh, so the third is why am I thinking about this like I don't know? I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna start with
The right words.
it.
Like, is it the suffix of your name? Like, are you the third?
Yeah. So like
Okay.
so I my homie Film Dot has a line in one of his songs. He says, "If you really know me, you know my whole name." Definitely identify with that wholeheartedly. But for those who don't know my whole name, Aurelius is the name I have, which means the golden one. My granddad has that name. He passed it down to my dad, who passed it down to me. So I'm the third generation
Strong.
of Aurelius. And
Have an idea what the album gonna be called. I'm just completely guessing right now.
you know what I'm saying? And and so you no, yeah, so
I'm
being able
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do that to you like that. I'm sorry to do
no, you probably got it. We'll talk
that.
about it.
All
You
right,
got
for
it. You
sure.
probably got it.
All right, for sure.
But no, yeah, so being able to kind of like take that and embody that, I went through a lot of different trash names before I got to this one.
Gotta hear some of those. I gotta hear some of those.
All right, let me see. My first one I think was my first one. So my nickname is Trey. That's what people call me from day
Okay.
to day. I'm not, rapping and doing nothing like that. It's Trey. And my first name was I was like 11 or 12. It was definitely it was Trey Drizzy. That's what it was when I was 11 or 12 because I was 12.
That's all you had to say. On the real, that's all you had to say.
Um, and then the next one after that was I think was Re, and Re was like Auree, was trying to like shorten my
Okay.
real name.
Okay.
Then I got to AR3, which is like my initials.
Okay.
So like the first of my first, the first of my last, and then like
Between Trey Drizzy and AR3, them some gun rap names right there, boy. Trey Drizzy and
so
AR3. So you been a battle rapper right there.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gotta start battle rapping.
That's Serious Jones Murder Mook territory right there.
So I was like, yo, I was like, yo, this is not gonna work. And so it's so crazy that I did. It wasn't. I don't think it was until I got the third right when I started dropping music like publicly. So it was a great time and all of it. So after AR3, like after AR3, I I I was a freshman in high school. I was starting I tried out for the poetry team to be on Louder Than a Bomb. And for my school I was at Kenwood, and one of my performance coaches, AJ, says he was calling me he just learned my whole name, and so he been calling me La Third for a minute. And I was like whenever he saw me like that's what he would call me, and I was just like, all right. And I was like, you know what? And so we were going around. I like made the team, and we were going around introducing ourselves to everybody. And I was like, I'm the third. We're stick with that. I'm the third.
That's
And
fine.
yeah, it kind of stuck, and I'm very happy, about it, because like it's like my stage name, but also very true to like my person. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Holding legacy down, I'm saying, with the greats before you. That's super dope, man. And I want to get into, like, I guess, mention louder than a bomb in case anyone hasn't heard. I interviewed DJ Cash Era recently, so hearing about louder than the bomb again, definitely got to bring it back up. Talk about the impact that organization and that and with that platform at least it's had in Chicago, and just you being a part of that, and just talk about what you've seen from there and what that had to do with your growth.
Yeah, growing up through YCA and participating in Louder Than a Bomb really mainly for me really just kind of like gave me introduced me to a lot of like other co-artists in the city. Um
Man, so many.
and even more importantly, like a lot of like my mentors are like a lot of them either I met during Louder Than a Bomb or have like are like a friend of somebody that I met in Louder Than a Bomb that I'm now like, you know what I'm saying, you know, cool with, and being able to like connect with those people has been like super important to me. I met a lot of great like for lifers through YCA and through Louder Than a Bomb. Um Also with them, you know, them and they had their programming where I they had like their open mics every Tuesday. Then they had
Mm-hmm.
like poetry workshops and rap workshops every Saturday. That was super helpful for me, like kind of like staying on my stuff. So I was like writing every day anyway, but then being able to like have a like a whole day for it and providing like structure and form for like how I do it was great. You know what I'm saying, being around a lot of great people who are just like good at what they do,
Yeah.
watching them do their thing like just boosted the way that I do my thing, right? So I feel like I tell my homies it's like if I had grown up in like growing up in like Iowa or something like that, I would for sure be the best rapper in Iowa.
Game over.
I would come here and just get thrashed, like absolutely like garbage. You know what I mean? And so it's because I grew up here that I am like the art I produce is like as good as it is and the quality that it is because there are other people around me who like would push me either intentionally or unintentionally to be, you know what I'm saying, better than I was the day before. So meeting a lot of my like great mentors and now like who are just homies, like being able to work with them and like learn under them, and then being able to like travel and do work with them has been like a really surreal experience. um you know what I'm saying, having all those people just around and being able to like give them their flowers and also get as much knowledge and as many gems as I can get from them, and then utilize those to like help my, you know, people who's like who are or coming up under me has been like a huge like blessing. Louder Than a Bomb, doing that throughout high school was like very it kind of definitely fueled my like competitive spirit, but also like I made a lot of homies to people I was like, you know, winning or losing against, you know what I mean?
That's all.
And like there are a lot of times where I can name like a bunch of people where it's just like uh we're like super like we like head to head, like it's like a very heated situation in this room, but then we leave and we're just like, hey, you be right, and like nah, you
Yeah,
be right, you know what I mean, like, and that was
mutual respect. Yeah.
every single bout, every single competition was like that, and being able to make those friends and then work with them later, uh really kind of like fueled my like collaborative side, which didn't really exist prior to.
Yeah.
Not for any real reason. I just was not aware that it worked like that. That like I could, that it was like that present to be able to just work with people. And so that was definitely helped a whole lot. Being able to meet new people and work with them and work under them, and then help other people has been great.
And you giving a lot of roses to your mentors in this conversation. I'm sure you kind of also mentioned it. You're a mentor probably now as well. To many coming up with your tenure here, with going through Louder Than the Bomb and being a recording artist as long as you've been one now. When you look at your role as a mentor, how important is that to you, especially as you now do things for like you said earlier, the John Wall Foundation, Long Live John Wall, and all the philanthropy you're doing in the city with the arts as well.
Yo, I think that's super important. I was talking to Fresh not too long ago, And
Judge.
yeah, a whole lot of love to him. And we were talking about like influence and like
Mm.
how much like the things that we like, how even though we like be like going about our day just doing us, how much those things, if we in the right spots and in like the certain spaces, influence can't influence other people. You know what I mean?
100%.
And so I think that the spot I'm in now, the spot I've been blessed to be in, where I have like some whatever like size amount of influence over the people who are coming up under me, being able to like host open mics at U Media spaces before like quarantine. I did that for like 2.5 years.
Mm.
And like working with them has been great. Like especially like also growing up in U Media and being in them same seats in that same spot and being able to watch like their growth has been absolutely amazing. I was on the phone not too long ago with one of my with one of my young ones who not young, bro. He just like he like is grown now. Like he's an amazing, like shout out to Jamal Jay. Jay is like super, he's like an amazing guitar. I hope you don't mind me talking about him, but like, an amazing like guitarist. He also plays piano. Like, uh,
No.
he's super talented, and like being able to see like how much you can grow with how much people around you invest in you has been great. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I have. Well, no, I know I don't have. You know what I'm saying? Enough bread to what I'm saying, like help a large group of people. But I think also even more important, and like even more valuable investment than money, is time. And
100%.
people, since I even entered like the whole like artist and artistic scene in Chicago, a lot of people who I have a whole lot of love for, still just gave me time. You know what I mean? Just gave me the time of day to be like, hey, I got 26 other things going on, but you have like a piece that you want to share. Not only am I going to sit here and listen to you share it and listen to it, like have you let you share your work with me, but then I'm also going to give you certain gems and certain pieces of advice to grow from, to make yourself better at what you do, at whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? And that stuck with me for a super long time. So now being able to give somebody else my time, uh and other people like my just like hours of just like helping them grow, giving them different like platforms and like spaces to work in, connecting them with other people who may be way better than what they're doing than I am, that can help them do their thing. Like I think that's like that's the goal. That's really the goal. Like this rap stuff is cool, but being able to like influence and provide platforms and connections and like time to other people, um
Absolutely.
it's like that's like kind of like the dream for me, really.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Also recently being like a part of like the John Law Foundation and being able to work through them and see like how much I can help other people, even more so than I've like been helped in that space, has been great. Super grateful for all the people who are participating in that. It's
And,
been
and just talk about exactly what the John Wall Foundation is offering and what your role is there, real quick.
So recently I just accepted a spot on the board of the John Watt Foundation, and it's been amazing. Uh, in 2019, having been a recipient of the John Watt Foundation scholarship, and just being aware of that legacy and what that means, and then also having the support of like these people, and frankly a lot of like new people to me, you know what I mean, have been able to like it's been a huge blessing. Like
Yeah.
a lot of my work in the past year and a half has been fueled by that support in a lot of different ways, and it's been great to see that investment. So now being on the board and being able to like help, like last time, like last October we did TIFS, and like
Mm-hmm.
working with them and like being able to see those youth like do what they're doing from the crib, and also being able to connect with them and watch them be great at what they do.
Working with Chicago Public Library
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
strong, man. That's strong.
Amazing. Yeah, bro. It's been a blessing to just be able to be in that space. And a lot of like I don't feel like a lot of like mentors and teachers speak on this, but a lot of time, bro, like being in them spaces we're like supposed to be giving and like imparting a lot of our knowledge and a lot of ourself in those spaces, but while we're doing that, we get a lot of like gems and fulfillment from them. You know what I mean? From those
Yeah,
people, just by them like doing what they do, and seeing them do well in it, and excel. So yeah, that's been a great thing. Being a teacher has been a whole different experience of just being able to say, hey, this is something that you want to do. We're gonna help you as much as we can get to where you want to be in that space, and then do great in it. And whatever you need, like that phrase of like what you need, let me know. It's I think something that we go around a lot, but like when people like are sincere about it, and you know when people are sincere about it, like it's a whole different type of encouragement that you feel like you gotta go crazy with whatever you're giving. You know what I mean? So like
yeah,
it's
man.
been great seeing them like grow and manifest what they have in store for themselves throughout. So yeah.
And how would you define a successful career for yourself, like for the future? Like when you look back 20 years from now, what's something you want to say that you've accomplished, or something, or what do you want to stand in the culture and the community? Like, do you find that because like in today's world, we almost judge success with music, especially with fame. I'm kind of trying to see like where do you place that into the equation, if at all?
Man, I'm bringing real rap back. No, just playing out.
You know what I'm saying? Real, raw. I'm saying, I feel
But
you.
I think in partially I've kind of like achieved a part of what I want to do already, which is being able to influence younger people, right,
Mm,
and help them
mm,
in certain fashions. Uh, I think also, man, just being an artist and being a rapper, like I want my work to last forever. I want it to be something that people can go back and look at and
so,
utilize as like a benchmark of an era of like time. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you can speak on. This isn't just music, but this music speaks to uh, a demographic. It speaks to an era. Um, in some ways, it speaks for an era. You know what I mean? Uh, People talk about like there's a whole conversation about like what legendary is on Twitter. And like
man, it's an interesting conversation for sure.
yeah, and like I think in a sense, like in a very very humble and low key fashion, if that's possible, I want to be legendary. I want to be able to come into this game, contribute what I have, but then also leave something that wasn't there before I got there.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And as an artist, at least for me, like that's something I'm trying to figure out every day. What am I leaving here that wasn't here before? What type of uh skills, and if not skills, right, because this art form has been around way before me, and so the amount of things that you can do that haven't been done before gets smaller and smaller every day.
Of course, of
But
course.
even if it's just like an idea, an approach, right, so you can have like the same art form but 76 different approaches to that one art form. You know what I mean? If I can contribute or leave a new idea, a new approach to music, um, a new, you know what I'm saying, route. That is something I want to. That is way better than fame to me, right? Because there are a
Absolutely.
lot of people that we don't speak on right now that
Yeah,
might like
um,
go into the studio and unconsciously copy.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because like they left that there and were not like per se famous, but their approach to the art form is rooted into what we do now. You know what I mean?
100%, 100%,
So
100%.
yeah, it's that's probably what I'm looking for, is like just to be able to leave, be legendary in the sense of leaving something that wasn't there before. I want to change lives in whatever way as possible. Challenge people's thinking. A lot of the time, like we are listening to music for like a an ephemeral type of fulfillment, if that makes sense. Like the feel good stuff that like is there for the moment. And I also wanna have fun doing this because I like very much enjoy the whole music process, but also like challenge like the whole like the mindset. You know, I'm like there's something I can have you thinking about after the song ends that makes the song last so much longer than the timestamp that's on it, because the next day didn't happen and you still thinking about like what this may mean, or like how this how this connects to the world that I live in. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
that's definitely the 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 goal for this. No stone unturned for sure.
Absolutely, man. And like I think it's always gonna be tough to know how to define legendary, man. And the way I look at it, like I'm new to your art in many ways, but just by your story, bro, you know what I'm saying that should be very achievable for you for real. Like you know what I'm saying, just knowing your grind and where you started from, and just having that passion and that drive since a youngin to now, and you still not 30 yet. You know what I'm saying, so and you still got a lot. You know what I'm saying, work on this album. I'm definitely in tune for it. I'm definitely here for it. I'm definitely, yeah, definitely proud to have crossed paths with you, bro. It's definitely an amazing story you got going, bro. For real, for real.
But I appreciate it.
Because we're in this culture now, like I've been like redefining myself as a fan of music, and especially now that I'm into podcasting and trying not to give my opinion too brassly on artists. It's like it's one I realize like it takes a lot to get in a microphone and for anyone to say anything. So me being a fan, I've always been that guy who's like, you know what I'm saying, do the list and do all this and do all that. And I'm trying to remove myself from saying shit is trash and doing that kind of shit now because this is art. It's somebody's art and their dedication to it. And
Yeah.
your shit was far from trash. That shit was amazing. But I'm just saying, as an artist, I just recognize how frustrating it must be to see somebody you never met, never interacted with, say your shit is trash. You put your hard work into it, and honestly, your story alone, like it's like, man, these people got to realize that these artists have stories, and these artists have goals that are beyond your opinion on their music. You know what I'm saying? And to see that you working on bettering your craft every day, man, is I'm saying super salute, man. I'm trying to do the same shit with my podcast. So like everyone's trying to achieve something with everything they do. Everyone's not asking for criticism on that shit, man. So everyone needs to give each other flowers and praise, man. That's what I'm here to do today with you, man. Much love for you. I'm looking forward to the album coming soon. And whatever else you got coming soon, especially that beat tape though, what you doing on 5 songs on like 16s. I'm looking forward to that, man. Please let everyone know what else you have coming up, and what else is on the horizon for you.
Word. I could talk about this too, because I'm definitely a fan of this podcast. So
Appreciate you.
we're gonna spill as much tea as possible without getting in trouble with the team. But
I be going hard on Big Sean, man. I gotta relax. I be dissing Big Sean too. I'm
that's
joking.
a
I'm joking.
fact. No. But no, okay. So I'm working on a Tracy Ellis Ross video right now. We're working on a music video.
mm.
Um, there's a lot of crowd participation involved that we're gonna be rolling out really soon.
Oh,
Um, and I'm super excited for y'all to see like what that's looking like. It's probably gonna be like, and I say this about, I think I say this about all of my music videos, but this one is the best music video that has not, that like out of all of them that is coming. You know what I mean? So like my music video, like the director's cut 3 style music video is
fire.
like thematically like the best video that I've got. But this Tracy Ellis Ross video that hasn't come out yet is the best video that I've got that's in the making. So I'm super excited for it. I can't wait for y'all to see it. And what you all have to contribute and say about it is going to be great. I'm super excited for it. Um, After that, there's a single in the brew, and it's gonna be my last single before the album drops. I'm not after what I have to say on this single. I'm not gonna say a single thing till this album drops. So um, I'm definitely gonna keep up with you. I'll make sure that you get some of this because
Yeah.
it's a lot of great things. You're gonna keep in touch for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah. A lot of good things coming up for sure. A lot of good visuals too. I'm heavy on the visuals.
Definitely looking forward to it all, bro. Like I said, like I hear the growth just from Cursive to Director's Cut EP, like that, like B Water and like the Tracy Ellis Ross and outro. That's a yeah, man. It's a strong 5 pass. I can't wait to see you do. You give me that when you give me them saying 10 or more. Tell everyone where they can find you, where they can support, where they can follow you.
Hey, Pat. So, so on IG and Twitter, I'm at Third the Poet, all spelled out. That is not my stage name. The third is just taken by some dude with one follower, and he follows like 4 people, and I'm trying to get famous enough to bully him out of that
Man,
tag.
I'm going through the same thing on Twitter, man. I want juice in the hood. I can't get it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, G. So
They just be taking stuff and just not using it. Like, what you
not
doing?
using it. Like, what's to you, bro? I got still stuff I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I've had a bunch of different media outlets. People call me Third the Poet, like in person. I'm just like that's not me.
It's a
But no,
simple,
yeah,
it's a little bit of research, you'll say.
just a
Yeah.
little bit, you know. But
Go to
no,
Apple Music one time. That's all you got to do.
I love to them. No, still in the same. But on IG and Twitter, yeah, at Third the Poet, all spelled out.
100%.
On Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, you can find me at not at anything, but you search the Third, it should come up. But I also released an EP called The Director's Cut that should specify the search for you. And appreciate you so much,
Hey,
bro.
man.
Like podcasts, I like been super like I always listen to them as I like when I was younger, but like especially during quarantine, I'm realizing one of like you like are hosting one of the most like sustainable forms of like documentation like ever,
Yeah.
bro. Like it's
That's really how I look at it, man. Like, man, I'm like, even when like, I don't care if I get no viewers. I'm like, man, when it's all said and done, this shit's gonna be here. Like I'm saying it's there. I'm saying I'm leaving something behind at the end of the day. That's how I really look at it. And the fact that I get to do it with some dope people and talk to dope people on a regular basis with it is incredible. And truly, once again, man, I can't thank you enough. Because like I said, we never interacted in person before. I just reached out to you on a humble, like, this dude is dope. You've been mentioning 2 of the episodes. Shout out to DJ Cash, shout out to Def C and Ad 2. You've been mentioning 2 episodes, and I'm like, dude, I've heard the name. I've seen. I think I've seen one music video. I've seen a Cursive video like back like a year ago. I think I want to say. I want to say it was a Cursive video. It was a video a year ago, and that's why I first like, oh shit, that's homie that won the John Watt thing. And then talking to Shell as well, and yeah, man, and hearing Director's Cut EP and hearing like the Cursive EP, of course, in retrospect, it's like, man, I see what's on the horizon for you, but I see what you got coming, man. And I'm looking forward to it for sure, for sure. Shout out to Chicago, man. Chicago is a beautiful place doing beautiful things.
yes, sir. Super grateful for you, bro. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I said, looking forward to the project, being back in tune with you. Hope they get you back on the show when the joint drops for the rollout, man.
Yes, sir. We're gonna be back for sure. Appreciate
Blessings,
you.
blessings. And as always, man, absolutely. As always, please make sure y'all follow the podcast on Instagram at Good in the Hood Pod, on Twitter at Good in All Hoods. I'm Juicing All Hoods on Twitter, Juicing the Hood on Instagram. And please shop the merch and stay up to date with the episodes at goodinallhoods.com, man. Until next time, peace and love to the third, and stay good in the hood.
Yes, sir.
My dog.